Denmarkfield is important to me because I think we as a species, people, humans, need green spaces. And I can come out here and enjoy green space. There's nothing quite like the silence of a 4 o'clock morning start in the summer and then listening to birds and knowing that they're here. And the fact that we've got the plants and the seeds, it attracts these birds in.
The whole site's about 90 acres and it's really made up of sort of 3 large fields. So the one field that is deer fenced is the sort of woodland bit. Most of the tree planting's been there, particularly sort of like understory and shrub species. So we're trying to emulate like natural processes as much as possible throughout it. But actually there's a huge amount of like natural regeneration that's happening there, particularly birch, but also some oak, hawthorns naturally coming up, some more like scrubby stuff. So we're sort of seeing the land change a lot. And then Eastfield, which is a part of what the allotments were in just now. So that's sort of a big field that stretches all the way down to the River Tay. So we've got a woodland corridor that will hopefully in years to come act as sort of habitat corridor and connecting the that woodland area to the sort of semi-ancient, lovely, thriving woodland along the River Tay.
We, like you say, we do a lot of engagement with local schools. So just the week before last, we had 2 classes from Luncarty Primary School just along the road. They came and they had a great day. They came and they just got to be out in nature and explore, you know, and really get their hands dirty, really see what it was all about. They learned various things about the different pollinators we have here, the different plant types and how they connect, and then they were able to like build bird nests and again see the different types of birds we have and how all that links with the pollinators and the food chain, because that's definitely something a part of our curriculum we're learning right now. So we felt like that linked pretty well. This year I really made a conscious decision. I'd always kind of worked outdoors and done gardening and landscaping and things like that. And I've always been so interested in nature and outdoors and how things work, you know, how things are linked and all of that. So I really made the conscious decision to get into conservation, and through that I did a lot of volunteering, which again, Denmarkfield was a great opportunity for me to come and volunteer, and I done botany surveys and bee surveys and I monitor camera trail cams and all that sort of thing. So that was great. And then yeah, when I seen the opportunity came up to apply to actually be an intern here, it was just a no-brainer. I was so happy to do it, and when I got the job, it couldn't have been better, you know.
So for about 2 months of the year, we have a small herd of cattle on site. We graze the land in a sort of mob grazing approach. So we set up smaller fenced enclosures within the larger fields, which is a similar approach to what they would have back at home at their local regenerative farm just up the road. And whilst they're here, sort of doing what they do, eating, trampling, opening up bits of bare ground, cow pats, creating structural complexity within the vegetation. They're injecting a bit of dynamism into the ecosystem, aiding things like seed dispersal. So lots of good things, lots of natural processes going on. And also it's just an absolute pleasure to have them here, to see them sort of moving around the landscape, to see them also sunbathing sometimes. Yeah, it's lovely. And throughout the summer season, we do pretty consistent pollinator monitoring. So we've got weekly bee and butterfly surveys. This is, you know, great for data collection. We've seen a real increase in the number and the species diversity of pollinators in the year since we've been rewilding. But it's also a really nice way for volunteers to get involved, to walk the site and to see the nature within it up close. It's a very peaceful activity. There's something mesmerising about trying to identify a bee or a butterfly as it buzzes past your head, as it's perched on a flower, maybe even a flower that you would traditionally think of as a weed. You see these patches of thistles, of ragwort, alive with the buzz and the hum of colour, and it refrains. And then you walk through the species-rich grassland, which is hectares of life. It's hopeful, and hopeful to think of what can happen if you just give nature a bit more space, a bit more time, and a bit of a helping hand.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's different, but I've always certainly found myself that getting into the outdoors and into nature, and it's very relaxing and helps get a perspective on life. And I'm sure a lot of other people find a benefit there, and some people don't actually realise it until they get out into nature. And having spaces like this next to built-up areas, I think, is a good way to introduce people to that.
So I come out usually every Tuesday, and I spend 2 hours walking around 99 acres in wonderful surroundings and counting what I see and what I hear. I think it's important that people at the BTO can understand how birds behave, where they are, what they do. So we've made some tracks that effectively I can follow on a regular basis, so that we're following the same track every week, and therefore we're less disruptive to the birds, less disruptive to the environment, and there's very little chance of me tripping over or falling onto any birds' eggs. And it's very important we understand where birds are and what they're doing. And I just enjoy the fact that I can come out here, enjoy something that I love, and that research or that may well help birds in general.
But it's also about the people and stuff as well, sort of, because we often think of rewilding as being, you know, sort of huge swathes of land, often in like the Highlands or somewhere that's very distant to, I guess, our consciousness here. So then I think to have a project like this on people's doorsteps is quite exciting. Can be challenging, but it's very exciting. So like I live very locally, and I just kind of spotted it as I was walking past one day, and it was sort of just coming out of lockdown. I was kind of struggling with long COVID, so this was like quite a pivotal thing for me as like an opportunity to learn about lots of different things, and also to like make new connections, make friends, and get out the house. And so that was very important for my well-being, I guess. So I guess I thought that if I could be involved with the project and support that for other people, that would be fantastic.
We heard of this project going on, but I thought, you know what, that's what Mum would have wanted, you know, to be involved with this, but not in her time, of course, sadly. So we thought, yeah, let's get involved. But the other thing about it was, I had a word with my sister and my brother, and it says, wouldn't it be nice if we had something from us? So we funded, you know, the interpretation board at the front. Yeah, I think it'd be a big smile on her face, and I think she would have lots of people to talk to. Yeah. And I think, yeah.
She'd be able to have a lot of advice for people, I think, because she was very, you know, we've got 5 apple trees in our garden, and you know, and she did her own vegetables and things, and I think she would be very involved, heavily involved in it.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it's very important. I mean, you can hear the A9 in the background there, and I think it's great that we've got, you know, they've got fields to our left here, and this little bit where the allotments are, plus, you know, big fields further over that they've got badgers in, and they see pine martens and all sorts of, you know, animals that probably would have been pushed back, you know, because of the developments. I mean, all the fields further to our, well, in front of us, they're, you know, supposedly going to be developed. And, you know, so if that actually happens, hopefully it won't, but if it ever happens, then it does mean that we've got this little stretch that is, you know, being a haven for wildlife.